we had made a pledge, Amazon Global Selling, that we are going to enable $20 billion in cumulative e-commerce exports by 2025. To take a step back and give you a sense of the entire story, we started our journey in 2015, 10 years ago. And when we started, we said that we are going to do $10 billion in cumulative e-commerce exports. But this is a true story. Over a period of time, we realized that we can do a lot more. And in 2022 is when we had revised this target upwards and made it twice and said that we're going to enable $20 billion in cumulative e-commerce exports. And today I'm very happy to announce that we have achieved this pledge. We have crossed this pledge ahead of time. And with 100 sellers we had started, and today this milestone has been achieved on the back of enabling 2 lakh plus sellers across 200 plus cities in India and across a lot of categories. So that's what today's event is about, $20 billion.
Great. So how the government is enabling e-commerce and how Amazon is dealing with it?
Exports has always been recognized as a key economic growth engine, right? And our government, you would know that by 2030 they've taken a target of doing $1 trillion in merchandise exports alone. And what the government is saying also as part of that is that out of the $1 trillion, around $200 to $300 billion is actually going to come from e-commerce exports. Now that is a very, very big forward leap and a large statement. Because it was in 2023 that for the first time e-commerce exports was recognized as a separate category of exports, right? That should tell you the government's seriousness, about e-commerce exports. It always first starts with recognition, right? And then it goes to having a target around it, having a fixed target around it. The government, apart from that, if you look at the export promotion, mission, some of the analysis there, even there the government continues to talk about e-commerce exports and, what are the bottlenecks that today's e-commerce exporters, face. Because if you take a step back and look at it, B2C exports, which is e-commerce exports, is different from B2B exports, right? Because you're sending inventory in anticipation of sale. There are a lot more smaller transactions that you need to do, and so on and so forth. And traditionally, conventionally, the statutory apparatus of the country has been more geared towards our B2B exports, and that is what we are changing. That's what we are seeing as changing today. That with government focus on e-commerce exports, right? There's been a recent ease of compliance from RBI, right, where they've eased the EDPS compliance norms, right, for e-commerce exporters to sort of make it easier for them in order to comply, right? Similarly, we are actually seeing a lot of sterling work that is being done by organizations like DGFT and and FIO. In terms of spreading the word on e-commerce exports. We're also seeing a lot of work not only from the central government, but also from the state governments in terms of they coming up with their own export promotion policies. And the noteworthy point here is that in all of these policies there is a separate section on e-commerce exports and how that needs to be enabled. So the government is very serious about e-commerce exports, and we continue to work closely with them in 2 ways. One is, of course, take the problems to their notice, the problems of e-commerce exporters. How is it different, and so on and so forth. Take it to their notice, and work with them closely to go deeper, into India's export and manufacturing clusters to make our $80 billion by 2030 a reality.
Sir, in 10 years, you reach from 0 to $20 billion number, and you are expecting 5 years $80 billion. Do you think that will be easily, surpassed or reachable or achievable to you?
I've already given the story of this $20 billion, right? When we started, we said, hey, we'll do $10 billion. And we revised it, halfway through, roughly, halfway through is, when we revised it and, doubled it. it tells us two things. One is that there is a lot that India has to offer to the world, and when technology comes in, it can do technology actually can enable businesses and make sure sellers and brands succeed. I think these hold true, right? And so yeah, I think we stay committed to the $80 billion target.
All right. So you just mentioned the government is giving huge amount of support to the e-commerce industry, including Amazon India, Amazon in general. So which other support are you looking from the government apart from this?
We keep see it's not a point in time thing, right? It's not as though there is a list of asks and and it's done. I think it's not a point in time thing. It's an ongoing relationship. We keep taking our asks to the government, and it's more than an ask. I would look at it as a collaboration, right? In terms of how do we enable some of India's export and manufacturing strengths? How do we enable some of India's sellers to go global worldwide, right? So be it in terms of easing of compliance, be it in terms of partnerships, be it in terms of being present on a more sustained basis in some of those export and manufacturing clusters, we continue to do that. And as I said, it's not a point in time thing, it's an ongoing thing, and we'll continue to collaborate with the government.
Is there any new collaboration or recent collaboration with the government?
Yes, I mean we have this year, in fact, we have signed a MOU with FIO, Federation of Indian Exporter Organization. That's the apex body of exporters in India. With them, we are planning a lot of activities across different places. We've also recently signed a MOU with the MSME Commissionerate of Gujarat. Right, and we hope to sign a few more with other state governments and export promotion councils.
Okay, fine. So, do you think the AI technology is helping the e-commerce platform?
Amazon has been at the forefront of Gen AI, right, with our AWS-led enablements, with our Amazon Bedrock, and so on and so forth. Apart from that, in terms of enabling sellers and e-commerce exporters, we continue to work on that. Be it in terms of enabling listing-related support, or account health-related support, or ML-based suggestions to sellers in terms of managing their inventory, supply and demand, and so forth. So we continue to do that. So yes, I think Gen AI-led technological enablement is going to be an important part of what we are going to do in the next few years.
Okay, great. So you were talking about the South American markets. The company is also trying to explore other markets apart from the 18 points which you mentioned earlier. So which are the new markets apart from South America and Japan?
No, I mean we are present, and as I said, we are present in 18 plus marketplaces already, right? And this is a choice that we have always offered to our sellers. And as and when Amazon expands into new marketplaces, that will also become available. So I cannot talk about any specifics right now, but rest assured that wherever Amazon expands, that's a marketplace that will get available to Indian sellers.
But there would be some countries, some markets which are asking Amazon to come to them and do the business.
I cannot talk about any specifics right now, except to say that as far as Amazon global selling is concerned, when we have a marketplace in a particular country, that will get opened up to Indian sellers.
So any comment on the government's ease of doing business?
I've already spoken about it. I think they are focused on e-commerce exports, and they are. We've already seen that in action with the RBI easing a few EDPMS compliance norms. So. The government is very serious about e-commerce exports, and we will continue to collaborate with them.
All right. So one more question means, what are the industry challenges and how is it going to be rid of?
Sorry.
What are the industry challenges in the e-commerce market?
I won't call them challenges. I think it's about building the right capabilities, right? And what capability is needed is really a function of the seller cohort, that you're talking about. For example, an established offline exporter may need education on how to operate on a e-commerce platform, for example. But in a D2C brand that is trying to go global, we'll need support in terms of what we call as export enablement, which is compliance related, logistics related, and so on and so forth. So the way we look at it is pretty simple. The way Amazon does it is pretty simple. We look at every aspect of the seller journey, and what are the capabilities that we need to build for sellers to succeed sustainably over a period of time. That's the way I would put it.
Okay, sir, how are you ensuring the quality and the compliance?
Of products, you mean?
Yeah.
See, this is an ongoing process, right? It is, one of our leadership principles is, customer obsession, and hence, quality of selection, quality of products, ensuring that there is no counterfeit is something that, we take very seriously worldwide across all the marketplaces, that we are present. And, we continue to get better over a period of time, on this, particular area. So without getting into specifics, rest assured that it is a very, very important area for us, sort of central to, the way we run our business. And it's also an ongoing process. It's not a point in time thing. So, we continue to revisit this. We continue to stay invested in this area so that the right quality is always ensured.
So the new GST rolled out, recently, like.
I am not the right person to comment on that.
All right, great. So one more thing, how are you, keeping a plot of the competition? How are you dealing with it?
Our leadership principle, as you would know, is customer obsession, and the way we look at it is hey, how do we ensure that we are offering our customers the right things, right? And that's what we'll continue to stay focused on.
All right. Any other thing you want to say to your customers?
We are very excited. We believe that it is still day one for e-commerce exports in India, and we are very excited about the 2030 $80 billion milestone.
And sir, how are you looking at the India as a market and the evolving e-commerce platform in Indian market and also the global? Means what's the difference between the Indian e-commerce and the global e-commerce?
I cannot comment on the domestic state of things. I've already spoken about the e-commerce exports worldwide. Rest assured, but at a broad level, without getting into specifics, I can say that rest assured, Amazon has a has a particular way of operating, across wherever we are present. We are informed by our leadership principles. We are informed by our flywheel, and that's how we'll continue to operate.